Hello, it's Professor T. T for Triada. That's me. I am so happy to see you. It's Friday and you will never guess how many weeks this is. We've been home. I counted. 7 weeks home. It's a long time to be learning from home. I hope by now you've gotten a little used to it and you've seen the pluses and the minuses, right? Every experience has pluses and minuses. For me, teaching art from home, the plus is I don't have to drive. I don't have to spend money on tolls, gas. I don't have to use that time to commute. Those are all pluses. Minuses, I don't get to see my students in real life. That makes me sad. I don't get to touch art materials with them. And when I'm helping students with artwork, I can't point to it. I have to talk about it on the Zoom screen or on the Google's Hangout screen. So I'm sure you have pluses and minuses of learning at home. Today, I hope you'll join me for a positive space, negative space lesson, which follows on the book I read earlier this week, the long and short of it. Positive space, negative space. What does that mean to you in art? Positive and negative. I'm going to show you an image. And one of your teachers sent it in to me. This is Miss Ford sent me this image. I don't know how well you can see this, but it is an ice cream cone. The cone is the positive space. The negative is a hole, and she photographed cacti. She has a cactus plant, and she photographed the cacti behind the negative space. So I'm going to show you what that looks like when there's no photograph. It looks something like, well, negative. Here's my cone. Negative space, positive space, where the cone is. So she took this and she photographed it up against different fabrics, and she used her cell phone to get images, and they were really cool. So I'm going to show you another image she got with the same positive, negative artwork. The positive is the cone. The negative is, can you see what's behind that? Painting, some kind of paint. Maybe it was one of her paintings, I'm not sure. Here's her hand over here. And she asked me to talk to you all about this activity. Positive space, negative space. But Miss Masher also asked me to talk to you, and Miss Kaminsky did. So what I'm going to show you is positive and negative for the youngest students, for the middle students, and for the high school students, okay? So bear with me if you're a high school student. We're going to do the easiest ones first. Okay, so how did I cut this? How did I cut that out? And I don't even know if you can quite see my cone. The cone was the easy part. I'm going to draw it a little darker. The cone is just, I'm just using a pencil. And the cone was crisscrossing diagonal lines. Can you see? If you want to put a piece of paper behind, excuse me, I'm going to lean here. I should have had that with me. Now you can see it really well. Negative space, positive space. Okay? So if you want to do exactly what Miss Masher did, no, Miss Ford, you take a piece of paper, you draw your cone. The cone is what shape? Easy. It's a triangle. You don't have to make a cone. You could make a circle, you could make a square, but do you see how I drew my triangle? And then I put my crisscrossing lines. I got the idea completely from Miss Ford because she did it this way. And I know you miss her. Here it is. Now, how do we get the ice cream? Well, let's say we want 3 scoops. It's kind of like a cloud, right? 1, 2, 3. But how am I going to cut that out? We need a scissors. Here it is. Oh! We need to fold the paper. Okay? We're going to cut along half of the paper. So we're going to actually make symmetry on both sides. Then we're going to cut this way, and we're going to pray. It looks like a cone with ice cream. And not too bad. It's a little pointy at the top. I think I'm going to correct that. I've never seen pointy ice cream. I got that pointy ice cream twice, and I realized it's not a good idea to cut down like that. It should be more like around. Let me see. Yeah. Whoops. Okay. Now, you get that. Looks like it has a little bit of a cherry on top or Jimmy's or something, right? Now you just hold it against things and you snap a photo with your phone. I can't show you how I'm using my phone because my phone is making this videotape, but I can show you what this looks like on a different pattern. Let's put it on a black fuzzy pillow. What's it look like? Right? Let's put it on a patterned pillow. Ooh, I like it on here, right? How about on my dress? My dress is very, I hope you can see this. It's a green pattern. You can put it on your clothing or on my white fluffy sweater. How's that look? But the idea is that each time you get your positive, negative artwork on a pattern you like, you snap a photo. And then, of course, you send it to Miss Ford or you send it to me. And we will put it on the blog. Okay, so those are the easiest things to cut. Now, what if you're in middle school and you're Miss Kaminsky's student? Well, you might have a book with animals in it, or maybe you have a Christmas card with an animal, like I have a polar bear Christmas card. I have another card with a little kitty cat, or you could use the computer screen, or you might have a book at home. I traced my favorite animal right against the window, the dolphin. So what I did was I went up to the window and I held the page, and then I put my paper on top and I traced it. Now, you could draw it. You don't need to trace, but I know some of you are used to the light box, and the window acts like a light box. So I got the dolphin, and now you have to ask yourself, where do I want the pattern? Where do I want the negative space in my dolphin? Do I want it above the eyeball? Do I want it in the tongue? That could be very interesting. In the bottom? I like it in the tongue. So the cutting is a little more complicated, but you can start by making, you fold, and you make a little hole. like this. Okay, now I'm going to cut the tongue out because I think I like that. What do you think, Miss Kaminsky's students? Good idea? This is positive, negative space. Something that's very important in art, not only 2D art, but also 3D art. So I have cut the tongue. Here we go. It's a little space, but it's an important one because it's the tongue. Would the tongue look interesting with this behind it? It's not as interesting because this is big. This pattern's big, and that tongue is just a tiny piece, right? What about, ooh, with red, my pillow behind it? Well, that looks good, right? Because the tongue is red anyway. So that looks pretty good. That looks photograph worthy. You know what I'm saying? It means take a photo. What about black furry? Yeah. What about if you had a plant like Miss Ford did? Could you hold it against the cactus? Could you hold it against a painting? Yes, I want you to take your dolphin all over your house and look for interesting places to snap a photo. And those you would send to Miss Kaminsky or to me. Okay, high school students, I'm glad you're still with me. Now, you could do something more sophisticated. And I thought about something that might interest you, which would be your hand. Oh, why am I grabbing this? Your hand could make an interesting negative, positive, negative space. So what I did here, I just traced my hand. And I was thinking maybe I would like to draw some details in the fingers, like the creases of my joints and maybe even my lines. So don't forget that you can add to the positive space whatever you want. I'm just going to put a couple of lines here so you see what I mean. Oh, look, I could even have the side of my fingernail. And then maybe what I would do is this would be my negative space. Right down here. I mean, any part of this could be. It's your work. Then I take my scissors. I cut negative space. Maybe it's my forearm, which is what that would be. Or maybe you cut in a lot of different places. And voila, you hold this up all over your house to make strange things popping out of here. We know the fabrics work, right? We know that. How about this fake leather? Of course that works, just like my black paper works. How about my green dress? Yes. But how about wallpaper? Or how about the carpet? Or how about plants? I want you to go and take pictures. Now, what if that's too easy for you and you don't want just one hand outstretched like that? Well, then I thought, and I've worked with Miss Michelle on this before, what about a hand symbol like peace? Miss Michelle worked when she was a teaching candidate. She was not a teacher yet, and she made a lot of hand gestures in 3D with students at Eastside High School. So I was thinking about her, and I thought, oh yeah, the peace symbol. Now, where would you like your negative space to be? Here's something. What if you put peace like this? Wow. Wow, this is going to be a little hard cutting out, but it could look really cool. All right. What if you want the peace symbol where would you cut out? You probably better put the N for negative space on whatever you want to cut out so you don't mess up. So that's what I would cut out. And let me just show you one. Again, to start the cut, you just fold it in half and take your scissors. I would like this piece. But now I'm thinking to myself, what would I like for fabric? Or what would I like behind the piece symbol? I would like maybe blue sky. That would be cool, right? Hold it right up in the air and photograph the clouds. I would like that. So this is the easy part, right? This is a big one. This is big. This is a teeny negative space. But as you can see, if you're a high school student, you can really get complicated with this. You could even put a flag behind this and cut out parts of it. Like, let's say, I like the American flag. I just have been drawing it a lot lately. So maybe you're going to draw the flag behind. I don't want to draw too much. I'm sorry, my stars are terrible. But anyway, you get the idea. Maybe the American flag, that's the pole, and the flag is going out here, and these are the stars. Just be careful. You need to put that letter where you're going to cut so your paper doesn't fall apart completely, right? Because if you want to cut out some negative space here, you put an N. But what are you going to do when you get here? You're going to have to think through the problem a little bit. But that's why it's so interesting that positive space and negative space can be something that 6 and 7-year-olds could do, or 17, 18-year-olds could do. I find that really interesting. Let me just put behind the piece some very cool duct tape I have, and you can see the duct tape. Oh yeah, well that looks nice. It's like a little bit hippie-ish. Peace, love, and peace and love, right? Looks a little bit tie-dyed. I have another tape that looks like fire. I have to thank the professor in residence, Miss Robin O'Brien, for these tapes. We were going to use them while we were still in school, but here we are, working from home. I hope you will get excited by this. I'm excited to see what you will do with it. And don't forget, there's one more thing you could do with positive, negative space at night when it's dark. And I wonder if you're thinking like I'm thinking. Where did we use a light to pass through holes? You remember the planetarium exercise when we poked holes like this for the Big Dipper? And then we rolled it and we put it on the flashlight of the phone? Well, your negative positive space could also work like that with your flashlight. It'd be very interesting if you could project some of the shapes with the light through the shape onto the wall or the ceiling. So the two exercises are related. I hope you have a great weekend. I hope this gives you something fun to do while you're stuck inside. Being stuck inside is not easy. Whether you're young or you're old like me, not easy. I'm finding it very hard sometimes, and I feel cooped in. So if you're feeling like that, you're not alone. If you're not sick and you don't have a family member sick, you can be very grateful. That's how I feel, is grateful. I'm well and I do not have COVID-19, but I do feel cooped up. So what did I tell you about artists and art? Once something happens, the artist invents another thing to happen, right? When school closes in real, we invent school online, and it's not so bad. All right, I hope to see some of your work soon. Bye.